stock gain again. Stock gain again today. Week of November, after gaining significantly and having the best October in history so far. So what to expect this week, especially as we get into election years, and also we get to the CPI data, the CPI numbers for the month of October, which ultimately will lead whether or not we see the stock market still gaining as we get into 2023, or finally we get everything to collapse finally before maybe a deeper recession in 2023. All right. So I'm going to share with you in this video three main facts, or three main, looking at history, three main facts that can actually or potentially lead us into what is in the cart, what is in store for stocks, at least this week, as we have these three major catalysts. Are we going to continue to make money in our favorite stocks and ETF, or is it going to be time to sell everything out and wait for the dip before buying back again? So let me start with this. These are numbers coming from Morgan Stanley. And actually, this is one of the most accurate in terms of forecasting what the stock market will do. And they're saying that as of today, they sent a note out to clients and they were saying that midterm elections can push the S&P 500 higher. We remain tactically bullish on US equities. Even though the Fed is still increasing interest rates, they still believe that midterms results can continue to push S&P 500 to 4,000 or even 4,150 points as we get into the later part of this year, as we finish 2022. This is from Mike Wilson. And he says this number could be met this week if Republicans win decisive control of both the House and the Senate. Now, I'm not a politician, or, this is not a political a video whatsoever, so we will not bet whether or not there will be a total control of both houses, but the call is still very bullish, because every time there have been an election year, even with recession and Federal Reserve hiking interest rates, the 12 months following, stocks gain at least 13%. All right, look, according to monetary policy history, it suggests that the Fed, who was also in hiking rates in these years, 46, 58, 94, and 2018, and it was also a midterm year, stocks averaged 13% gains in the next 12 months following. He also pointed out that stocks have climbed 84% of the time in the fourth quarter of election years. That's a pretty significant, statistic for saying pretty much almost all the time. But we can also go back to this. We can also turn to history. For at least one certainty, stocks go up in the 12 months after a midterm election. Always, all the time. So if we can use what history says, even though history tend to repeat itself, we cannot use this as a guarantee, because nobody knows exactly what the future holds. But we can use this and say that if midterms turn, in the balance of powers in both Senate House and, Representative House, then we might have this as a bullish catalyst for stocks to continue to grow. Now, let me turn to other, the main risk that we saw in 2022, which is inflation. We have a Nobel economist in the name of Paul Krugman, who is now saying that inflation may have cooled to below 4%. Because when you look at the price of rent in most of the big cities, the top 100 cities in the US, and you also look at slowing wage growth, meaning people are not getting as much raises in salaries as it was the case a couple of months ago or at the beginning of this year, pointing to early signs that inflation may have been or may be in the fading as quickly as we want it to. So in the event the CPI that we're going to get on Thursday comes out beating all the expectations, better than expected, below the 8.2%, definitely this will be another push for the market to continue to build on what October started and for the stocks to continue to go up. All right. So based on this, we can at least be somehow on the positive side of things that our favorite stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds, and potentially crypto can also continue to go up. Personally, I'm into the energy sector, as you all know if you're following the channel for quite some time now. But overall, except for the tech sector, stocks and what we call the value stocks, or the cyclical, those energy stocks, the material stocks, construction, transportation, healthcare, maybe financial, somehow have been gaining lately. Now, if CPI data, elections, midterms are positive for the market, then we can see everything rally. And that's why I think it's going to be really interesting here, depending on whether you want to swing some trades. So if you have some stocks that you bought and when waiting on them to go up to secure some gains in order to prepare for the coming recession in 2023, then you might be on the lookout to have the sell button ready when your target hits. At least that's what I'm saying in my energy stocks for once, because in the case we don't have a positive outlook for inflation after the CPI gets released on Thursday, I think we're going to have a bloodbath in the market, and the Fed's going to be like, okay, we can't stop now. And if we can't stop now, it means more pain coming from interest rates going up, more pain for the housing market, more pain for companies, maybe more layoffs coming broadly, and that's not going to be good for the economy. So I want to be ready I'm going to be ready by having cash set on the sidelines, waiting to scoop up some good opportunities, maybe, in stocks, definitely in crypto, but also potentially in the stock, in the real estate market. So that's, what I had in store for you guys. And I think we may be bullish than anything else, but we just have to see how it unfolds.